Hello everybody and welcome back to Bouncing Back with Brighton. In today's episode we are going to face Chelsea in the fourth round of the FA Cup. It's not the fourth. We're going through the fourth. We'll beat Colchester. We're facing Chelsea in the fifth round of the FA Cup. And we're also going to face playoff hopefuls Middlesbrough in the Championship. So there has been a couple of games since we last met, the first of which was away from home against Queen's Park Rangers, which we won 3-0. Anthony knocked you out with a double and Scott McTominay won from the centre of midfield. Some really good performances in today's game. We did create plenty of opportunities and we took them, and we're starting to click a little bit more than we did after we had a sort of rough patch. It wasn't really a rough patch, it's just me being a bit too picky. And again, this time we had a home tie against Ipswich Town and we won this one 3-0. Basoma with the goal from, I think he was playing centre midfield instead of Scott McTominay in today's game. Jose Izquierdo on the opposite flank to Anthony Knockyard, getting himself a double in today's game and another good performance to go alongside it. And that brings me to today's game where we will face Chelsea in the FA Cup fifth round. They have signed Jadon Sancho on this game, who looks absolutely fantastic, and it looks likely he will start on the left hand side for them in today's game. But it does look like maybe a rotated side back. Yoko is there. I mean, he's fantastic and he's a great midfielder, but you would expect Kante to probably be in there. Pasalic as well. He's a decent centre midfielder, box to box, but he's not really getting the game time at Chelsea. So if he is to start, it's definitely as part of a weakened side. Kieran Tierney is signed for Chelsea as starting left back, I would presume he is. He's starting every game, and as you can see, he's an utterly fantastic player. Batshuayi as well is starting up front, and he's not really getting the game time in the league, but he looks like he's going to be one of their cup competition players. So regardless if it's first string or second string, we are definitely rank outsiders for today's game. But in terms of our own lineup, we are going to go full strength as much as humanly possible. Having a look through this, I do want to start. I think Bogle's been injured for a little while. He's still currently injured, so Montoya is going to start at right back. Butland in goal, Sutar and Cabasas at centre back with Martinez at left back. Tudor Baluta in defensive midfield. Basoma will get a start in centre midfield. I'm playing the Metzola in the centre rather than... I've switched between the box-to-box midfielder, the ball-winning midfielder. Now I think I'm sort of settling on the Metzola. It's obviously a more attack and change. But with the standard of competition that we're currently facing in the Championship, going more attacking is not harming us whatsoever. So I'm going to continue with that line of thinking. Anthony Knockyard started on the right-hand side. Alex McAllister in the attacking midfielder centre role. Jose Izquierdo on the left. And Dejan Joveljic, despite continuously being unhappy and wanting to leave the club, he's going to start up front. He's not playing too well. I think this system, this formation, the way I'm playing just does not suit a lone striker. Doesn't suit strikers or any players in the centre. So despite him not playing particularly well, he's still my player rather than Ben Woodburn, who would probably be the natural other choice, or Jan Mlakar. Actually, no, I don't want to start Jan Mlakar. We're starting Dejan Joveljic. That's the team we're going to go with, and we'll see how that gets us in today. Obviously, being away from home is a massive disadvantage, but we're going to play against Chelsea how we will play against Ipswich or Charlton or any of the teams in the Championship. It's pointless, in my mind, trying to go defensive against a team like this, because then they'll just dominate possession and keep the ball and beat us that way. So we're going to go for this and we'll see how we get on. So we've J'd the boys up and we are shooting from right to left in this first half. Batshuayi's in behind already. The boys get back. Excellent challenge by Montoya. I was half expecting a penalty there, but it didn't come in. Butland claims from the cross. So it's obviously going to be an incredibly tough game. Arsenal and Walsall are also playing today in the FA Cup. Our best hope is to really get in front early on maybe, and then try and catch them on the counter. Knockyard gets the ball back post. Joveljic is there. It's claimed by Kepa. And the highlight isn't over as Jadon Sancho switches the player, tries to find Michi in behind, but Martinez clears it up. And hopefully we might build something here. Knockyard on the right hand side. He's got runners down the line, but he goes back to Montoya. He switches the player lovely to Izquierdo on the left hand side. That was Knockyard, by the way. And who's that on the edge? Tudor Baluta gets an absolute thunder goal from about 25 yards and puts us 1-0 in front against Chelsea away from home. Absolutely unbelievable. Great switch of play by Knockyard. Rudiger clears, but it's only as far as Baluta, and that is an absolutely fabulous strike. And his 6th goal of the season from defensive midfield. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. I'm hesitant to make any changes just yet. I feel like if we take Our foot off the gas, that might lead Chelsea to come on to us a bit more, but it's another corner for us that is cleared by Chelsea, and Jadon Sancho's alone up the top, but he's got the pace to burn, and he gets past, I imagine it's Montoya, and it falls to Jorginho on the edge, who takes a strike, goes very, very close. For the second half, I am tempted to go cautious, just to sit back a little bit and maybe catch them on the counter, which is what I think I am going to do. It might backfire horribly, and this might just invite too much pressure on us that we can handle. But I think we do have the sort of players that could make this work. Our wingers have got pace, Knockyard and Izquierdo have got a decent amount of pace to be able to burn their wing backs. But there's another highlight here, and we are advanced up the pitch. If we give the ball away, we might be a little bit snookered. The ball eventually finds its way to Izquierdo on the left-hand side, and McAllister inside. Joveljic is on the edge, he takes a strike, and a second long-range strike has put us 2-0 in front against Chelsea. This is unbelievable. Away from home against one of the best teams in the Premier League, and now I know it's a rotated side, but they haven't really created anything either. It's not like we've just absolutely mugging them off. We are competing with them. Another highlight this time is Chelsea coming forward. Andreas Christensen puts them back in the game with a header from a free kick. A little bit sloppy from us here. We should be. He's completely unmarked. Completely. Nobody even challenges for the ball. And we find ourselves going down from a 2-goal advantage. Just the 1 goal. Another highlight now. Cabezas. Oh my God, that was so fortunate. Cabezas had all the time in the world to bring the ball down and get it under control, but he completely mishits it, and Michi should be putting that in the back of the net, and it should be 2-2. Only 25 minutes remaining in the game, and there's another highlight. Bissouma tries to get set away by Joveljic, but it's well dealt with by Azpilicueta. Oh, Cabezas on the ball again, and Cabezas has been absolutely dreadful. I am getting him off. That's his second time he's been on the ball, and he's just given it away to Michi just because he couldn't bring it under control. We'll bring on Makudi in his place. Yeah, that's ridiculous stuff. And that will be the difference when we get into the Premier League. You know, the sort of Cabezas has been great for us in the Championship, but when you get put under pressure by Premier League caliber players, you know, he's going to end up giving the ball away too much. There's only 15 minutes remain here. I am reluctant to make too many changes. I might bring Ben Woburn on and get Izquierdo off, who isn't having the greatest game. But we're only 10 minutes to go, lads, if we can just hold on. Bissouma has picked up a knock in the centre of the park. We will get Joshua Onuma on in his place. And there's another highlight with 3 minutes to go. It's another corner by us. And Anthony Knockyard finds Dejan Joveljic at the back post. That puts us 3-1 up. And surely now we are beating Chelsea and we are going through to the next round of the FA Cup. Complete misheader by Ampadu from Chelsea there. Yes, we'll proceed with the substitution. This is by far the greatest victory of the season and of the save. Obviously, if you didn't know, this is a continuation from the bottom of Christmas challenge. We didn't really have too many banging results there. Michi set behind. Oh no, I've spoken too much. I've spoken too soon. And they're back within 1 goal with 4 minutes remaining. It's a long ball over the top from Rudiger. And Michi completely burns our defenders for pace. So the high line, I shouldn't be playing it now. At this point in the game, I should have dropped back. But it has done us well up to this point. But unfortunately, that's the 9th goal of the season for Michi. And now, please, boys, just hold on. 4 seconds remain. And we take a historic scalp against Chelsea in the FA Cup. Alex Martinez with the ball in. Joveljic, it's clear by Tierney. Anthony Knockyard now, 13 seconds overtime. Ref, I don't care about us scoring, just blow the full-time whistle. McAllister to Tudor Beluta, Onuma on the edge. Alex Martinez, he gets past his man, the ball's in the box, it's clear by Christensen, and now we are full-time. Chelsea 2, Brighton 3. Tudor Beluta with the first goal. Who scored the other? I can't even remember. Dejan Joveljic with the double after that. He scored in the other game against the Premier League side as well, but he can't seem to do it in the Championship. That's fine by me because we'll be a Premier League team next season. Absolutely unbelievable beating Chelsea in the manner in which we just did. So there's only 5 days in between now and the Middlesbrough game. We will rest the boys and we'll keep an eye on see who we might get in the 6th round. So we have returned just before the Middlesbrough game as it is FA Cup 6th round draw day. We've got Arsenal. We've got Liverpool, West Ham, The other major competition still left in the thing, I think Bournemouth and Burnley as well, both Premier League sides. If we could avoid the Premier League sides, that would have been great, but we can't. We end up drawing West Ham United away from home once again. It would have been very difficult to avoid the Premier League sides, to be honest. There's still potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 or 6. So, never mind. West Ham coming up in the 6th round, which will likely be the next episode. And we're here. We are facing Middlesbrough in the next game. We are at home and heavily favourites. They'll play the 4-2-3-1 against us. Assombalong is always a nemesis of mine on Football Manager, so we'll have to see how we get on in today's game. In terms of Scott McTominay starting in the centre, we can't play him as a Metzal. I'm going to get Onuma on. He's a lot more attack-minded, a lot more a lot more of a playmaker than Scott McTominay. He's very much more defensive-minded player. In terms of the rest of the lineup, I'm pretty content with the rest of it. Is Cuerdo on the bench for Ben Woodburn? Nah, we're not having that. We're going to start as Cuerdo. So it'll be Jack Butland in goal, Bogle, Souttar, Makudi and Montoya in the defence, Baluta and Onuma in the midfield, Anthony Notyard, McAllister and is Cuerdo in the attacking midfield with Dejan Joveljic leading the line. Unfortunately, Kabsas is suspended for today's game. Reece Oxford injured, Jack Grealish is injured, Bissouma is still injured. So this is the lineup. Let's get into it. So obviously some decent players in the Middlesbrough lineup, but it doesn't concern us too much. We know we've got the quality to beat them. It's just whether we're on our game or not. So we'll kick off shooting from left to right in this first half. Another 3 points, lads, will be lovely. Highlight now, 6.5 minutes in. Joveljic on the right hand side, cutting in, finds Onuma, takes a strike from long, and he hits the bar completely unluckily. That deserved to go into the back of the net. That was a great strike. And unfortunately, it didn't happen for us. Anthony Notyard's picked up a knock on that right-hand side. I don't want to risk him. Although we haven't really got an option to bring on. We're going to bring on Ben Woodburn. We know he has plenty of versatility. So despite it not being in one of his natural positions, I think we should be okay. Kearney with the free kick from Middlesbrough goes just wide. Bit of a nothing first 35 minutes or so. We both had an opportunity each. And there is another opportunity now. Hopefully it goes our way. Joshua Onuma on the ball, switches it to Bogle on the right hand side. He's going to go for the strike. He is great save by Randolph to keep Middlesbrough in the game. And good play by Bogle to get down the right hand side. He should probably bury that in the back of the net though, although his finishing's probably pretty poor. The highlight does continue. Whether this is just absolutely mocking me or not, I don't know. Montoya, McAllister on the edge. Joveljic is in the box, and Joveljic gets his 5th goal of the season and puts us 1-0 up. It all came from a challenge from a Middlesbrough player taken out. I think it was McAllister right on the edge of the box. And this highlight all continued on from Bogle's strike. Montoya into McAllister. Sliding challenge. Facing goals, not always the best idea. And Joveljic pounces on it and puts us 1-0 up. And that's it for the first half. Brighton 1, Middlesbrough 0. Let's just kick straight back off. Highlight now, Onuma coming in through the midfield. Montoya on this left-hand side. In for Martinez for today's game. It's outside of Baluta. We know he's got a thunder strike on him. So is Onuma. So either of them could have taken the strike there. It finds Bogle in the box. And at the second opportunity he gets in the game, this time he takes it to get his 3rd goal of the season. An assist for Alex McAllister, which is always nice to see. To see me attack midfielder in the centre actually contributing in terms of goals or assists. And Bogle, that is how you finish them back post. Happy days. Half an hour or so remaining on the clock and we have another highlight on him. It is Cuerdo. Lots of space on this left hand side, but he couldn't find Montoya. He goes back to Tudor Baluta. He's got 2 men on him. Just don't lose the ball here and we should be alright. Onuma finds McAllister. And it is Cuerdo who cuts inside Onuma again. Come on lads, let's find the breakthrough. It is Cuerdo to Montoya. Montoya's got on the left hand side now. Can he get a decent delivery? Goes back to Izquierdo. To Onuma's on the edge. He takes a strike. And he, at the second time of asking, finds the back of the net. This time it's a low strike into the bottom corner. And he puts it 3-0 up against Middlesbrough, which is absolutely fantastic. Middlesbrough, I think the 7th in the league currently. So they are just outside the playoff spots. And we are making them look like absolute mugs. Onuma has done absolutely fantastically in the centre of midfield in Bissouma's absence. He is the sort of player that if he wasn't a lone player, he will be starting pretty much every game. You know, I think he's really is championship / lower level Premier League quality. Another highlight though, straight from kick-off, and it looks like it's, oh my days, what a strike that was by Jared Bowen. I should not be dissing Middlesbrough, because that's the sort of thing that happens on Football Manager. I'm sure there's mics set up on Football Manager and they hear you when you start dissing people. But that's a special strike, and Jack Butland, although he probably should be doing better with that, let's be honest, but it was a thunder strike. 20 minutes to go, we'll look to make some changes. Bogle, we're going to keep him on. We'll get Scott McTominay on for Tudor Baluta in the defensive midfield spot. 5 minutes to go, we'll look to make another change. We are going to get Bogle off this time. Leo Ostergaard can come on. He's more of a centre-half, but there's only a few minutes remaining, and we are defending a 3-1 lead. Couple of minutes remaining now, and it looks like this will probably be the final highlight of the game. Montoya, Scott McTominay on the edge, and now even Scott McTominay is getting involved in the goals. Another absolutely fantastic strike from the edge of the box, his 5th goal of the season. An assist from Martin Montoya on the left hand side, which, you know, he just proves he's got the versatility to play on either flank as well. And great strike, 4-1. Now this will be the final highlight of the game. 30 seconds over the allotted time. Braithwaite gets cut out and Sutar can clear up for us. And there we are, full time. Brighton 4, Middlesbrough 1. What a fantastic couple of fixtures we've just had. And that result against Middlesbrough see us, well, we're guaranteed playoffs. 19 points clear from Southampton with only 12 games remaining. It's only going to be a few more games until we are guaranteed promotion, and then a few games after that to a guaranteed winning the title. You know, we've absolutely romped this league in a manner which I've never done, especially not in the Championship. You know, in the lower leagues in England, you definitely start losing games here or there just because there's so many games. It's a 46 game season, you know. So to have only been defeated once, and that was due to a red card, absolutely fantastic, unbelievable. So looking forward to the next episode. We are going to take our focus onto the FA Cup in the 6th round against West Ham. In terms of the other game, we're going to either play Derby or Norwich, and I think we'll play Derby. They are 6th in the Championship. We want to play the best teams we can face. They are currently in the playoff places. They'll be fighting the likes of Sheffield United and Middlesbrough for that final playoff spot, so it should be a decent game. And anyway, that's going to be enough from me. If you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you are enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.